Good afternoon. All right, let's see. There we go. Oh, okay. So I didn't even see all these comments. All right. Okay. So now. All right. I didn't know there was that many people in here. Or potentially, because we really don't know. But hey, long time no see. It has been a long week. A very long week. A very long, productive week. It's been like hustle and flow around here. But it's all good. A lot being accomplished. One thing first. Layla! You guys, they're talking about the Dewberry Boys. From, Layla! From, Dewberry Boys. Winn-Dixie. I tell you, that book had a very profound influence on them. Layla! Aliyah! Now see, they just took some candy. If I had the candy and I was trying to eat it myself, oh, they would have heard the wrapper. But now that they got their candy, don't nobody want to hear me. And they took off. All right. Zai, go tell Layla to come here. Tell them I said come here in the house for a minute. Hurry up. Come in here for just a minute. A pack of dogs, I see. Where are they at? Tell them to come here. Okay, hopefully they will come in here. Okay. Exactly how my baby is with candy. Yes, Lord, I'm telling you, you try to hide it, but they will hear that wrapper from down the street or something. It's like you have to go in the shower with the water on for them not to even suspect that you have something. Goodness gracious. So, Notebooking Pages had a sale for $50 lifetime subscription. Oh, yes. I was just on Notebooking Pages this morning, briefly, and I need to go back because I had to stop. I said, hustle and flow. I've been trying to do something for the last couple of days and I just can't get it done. Layla. I don't think they can hear me, but let me go get them. Before I start this. Come here. I know you can hear me. I know you can. Put that on the table. Come here. Put that on the table and come here. I know you heard me the first time I called you. I know somebody asked me. I want to get this out the way before I start. All right, so y'all wanted to see. For the person that asked, this was last night's project, yesterday's project. Everybody, what happened to you? Had their hair washed and deal. Really? Come on now. So I went ahead and did it because I realized that I am really down to the days. I keep thinking I have more days than I do. But I did it so I don't have to worry about it until I come back. And it's probably a hold up. Probably another week after I come back. So, oh, you smell like outside. There we go.
We're matchies.
Your matchies. All right. Come here. You may go. And this one. Say hello.
Hello.
Turn around. There we go. Zai. Go tell Zai come here. And so that one I didn't. I'm not even going to attempt. Oh, their hair is so pretty. Thank you. Come here, Zai. I stretched everybody's hair before I did it. And this is what she got. So she'll be good till I get back. I mean, not that this is staying up till I get back, but I'm not braiding her hair. Turn around. Huh. That's just a whole lot of hair. But I'll probably do something like this because this will hold up for the days. You may go. That I'm gone. You may be excused. So there's that, and that won't be. I didn't vlog anything. It'll be pictures, and I think that's when I'm headed. The braids for the rest of the. I think I'm gonna go for a whole year and just keep it braided. Even though it only takes me an hour to braid and beat their hair, but sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. But I know the time that it saves me. I don't like doing it, combing it every day either, or every other day. So that hour is worth it. Anywho, what is Notebook and Pages? Joy, you want to explain? You can find a lot free from Notebook and Pages, but yeah, you can get all kind of pretty much anything nature timeline, because that's what I was looking for. Some more timeline pieces. What do you call that stuff we do? Biographies, stuff like that. You can find the pages you just print and put in the notebook. So it's very helpful. And one fell. Joy, I'm going to get it in the mail. That was my goal. I might just have to do a pickup. If I could physically, I have some other stuff I need to take care of. Schedule a pickup because it does not look like I'm going to make it to the post office. But if I can schedule it before I go, then you'll get it. If not, it'll wait till I get back. But I was so trying and I couldn't do it. But I did get your I didn't read it yet, but I saw the thing the notification. I thought I would ask you if you want the book inscribed before I wrote in it, because I know some people don't want their books written in, but usually when I send them out, they do want them inscribed. So, but I thought I would ask. So, it's coming. It just, it's a lot. We're trying to make sure everybody has groceries in the house. All the kids are, going to be home, and we need groceries. So that's my next big project. And unfortunately, the only day we can do it is the day before we leave. So it's like, okay, so I'm going to have to do a Costco run next week. HEB, just all kinds of stuff. But we're getting there. All right, let me see. I should have brought my water in here. All right. I have about 5-6 pages of notes. I don't know, probably 7. I have no idea. Oh, it's a lot. It's more than 5. But anyway, I'm not going to read through all of this. A lot of this stuff I can off the top of my head. Who I know not everybody was able to attend the conference the whole week and live. Who watched the replays? Or who attended the live and who attended the replays or watched the replays? No rush. I will look it up. Thank you. Okay. Joyce says, I use Notebook and Pages as a resource to teaching. Basically a bunch of pages in one place. Yeah. Easily accessible. Yeah. I'm always, anything that's a shortcut, I'm all about it. Because I don't like to go looking for a million things. So. I attended the live. Thank glory. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So she did. She was there. She showed up every day, and I was just excited because, I put it out there, and I knew, somebody actually benefited from me sharing the information, and all week, and it was like, it's 3 sessions a day. There's breaks in between, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how they run, because some of them they ran over their hour, and it's a lot. It's like if you had not been to a real live where you go and attend a conference, it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot of sitting. Note taking, if you're a note taker. I'm a note taker. I have to write. So a lot of times I was sitting there trying to write and not really comment, even though I was commenting, but I was writing more. It's just, it's a lot of back to back. You have to be kind of ready for what you're, that's why people map it out. They get the plan, they see who's speaking and the topics that they're speaking on. And even though you don't know exactly what they're going to, present on, you can kind of gauge by the topics, or you gauge by the person, because a lot of people are familiar with a lot of the speakers that go around at these conventions. So that's how you do it. And, they give you information and tips and things on lots and lots of different stuff, and it just what does it do to you? It gives you a renewed spirit, because that's what I say, around this time of the year things kind of wind down, but then for us, June, we're picking back up. So it's not really winding down, but I get a fresh, first step away from YouTube. That's the first thing. You will notice um, it's not YouTube. You know, the information that you get, you know, watching the vlogs and videos and things like that, this is completely different. And it's like, wow, this really was helpful. Not that the videos and vlogs are not helpful, but at a point watching all these videos and vlogs, your head just gets so overloaded. Stuff is just, it's just overload. And you just, you know, it's too much information, the same information, and it's not really that helpful after you watch a couple things. But this, completely different ball game. So, yeah. Trying to think. Where do I want to start? The most, let's see, because I didn't really have time to go over. I just opened up my notes today. Who stuck out the most? I think I wanted to say something before I talked about who stuck out the most. And I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Not saying that I, you know, expert, know everything and didn't take anything away. I took a lot away, but I can tell you that, and I'm pretty sure the person that did attend will concur. A lot of that stuff that they gave out and talked about is what I do here for you all. I already talk about it. It wasn't anything new. It was like deja vu. And so a lot of times you will get this stuff like when I talked about Julie Bogart. Julie Bogart was Wednesday, and I told you all in the video we did with the kids, and I said bring your kids in to watch that. She's selling that information. It's the same thing I told you guys. You can buy that curriculum. You can buy the courses that she offers. But if you do the things that I talked about and the kids talked about, I'm telling you, that is exactly what these people are having you buy. You know, and I just share it because, you know, I'm not here trying to sell you anything. You know, I'm not. I know everybody needs help. And it's just a matter of how you want to accept it. I've been there and done that. And it you know, really, what really stuck out was she said exactly what I told you guys about the curriculum. The first question she asked was, how many writing curriculums do you own? And, you know, somebody said a couple something, and she had this little PowerPoint up, and somebody, I guess, had answered 13 at one point. And you know, but she was saying that she had writing curriculum being written from an educator standpoint and from a, she didn't use my word, but from a professional standpoint. That's what I said, from a writer standpoint. So me being on the writer side, I'm going to tell you like the writer, don't go buy the curriculum. Don't do that. They got the, what is it, IEW, all the kind of stuff. Don't do that. Because they're writing that as a curriculum. They give you a model, and basically it is a, what is it? It's like a template. It's a generic template, story prompts. And you're supposed to, the child is supposed to write from that. The child cannot do that. Okay, they cannot do that. Not every child can do that. They're going to look at you like, because they haven't been taught those dynamics and grammar and things like that. And so, you know, that's why I told you guys, the things that you give your kids to write, or the things that you want them to write, you sit down and do it first. Anything I give my kids, even the, I don't know if you guys can see it, but when we do art and drawings and things like that, I sit down and do that stuff first before I give it to them, because I want to see how difficult it is to execute it. Now, it may be not just because I'm an adult, I can do it better or quicker or, you know, whatever. They might find when I give it to them, they might use a different medium and come out with a different result. But I always try it first. So that's why I suggest you try and see how you can come up with, doing these things. And then you have to understand your child's, their actual skill. Have you taught them to do that? Are they capable? They might not even understand what you're asking of them. That's why it's so hard. And she also asked, what comes to mind when you teach, when I say, how do you feel about teaching writing? A lot of people said they feel difficult, feel that it's difficult. It's, I'm at a loss. You can help me out because you were in there. They feel stressed. They feel overwhelmed. Somebody said they feel comfortable like I did because she's also a writer. Some other stuff, just not good stuff, not good feelings. So you really try to avoid it. And so what I see a lot of times is you have a child write you read a book, chapter book or whatever, and then you say, tell me what this was about. When I see things like that, that's not really going to develop that child. Some said nervous. Yes, that's not going to develop that child. It's not going to develop their writing. Tell me what it's about. Okay, that's more or less a comprehension, but you need to really give them let them get to the meat of it. Okay, she also said something I told you about between 8 and 18, the time frame it takes to develop the writing skills. Okay, it takes that long. So you have to step by step by step by step. That's why I put the who, what, when, where, how, and I worked them through it each day so that they could just do a little bit and process it. A little bit and process it. That's how I write. I do a little bit and process it. Some days I can't get anything because, yeah, anxious, frustrating, difficult, uncertain, the child, boring, hurts, hand hurt, yeah, angry, too much work, and tears. Exactly. And you don't want that. And so, again, what I showed you all in the video, you can do the same thing. It takes time. I have more coming on that. That wasn't the end. I just wanted to kind of show you guys one little, and possibly if I find the rest of the, compile all of the rest of their work, and just pull it out as in a file. But so you can see where they started from, because that was not their first, it was not their first story. They had been writing stories all along. The other thing that she said, I told you guys, kids are born writers. Okay, everybody's born writer. Okay, when your children are coming to you, you cooking or what have you, folding the laundry, and they're mom, guess what? Guess what? You need to grab a notebook and a pen and start writing. It doesn't matter how old that child is, but start writing what they tell you. Just stop what you're doing and start writing. And she suggested, like I said, you watch the kids switch papers so that they can read each other's work. That is very pivotal for them. Okay. She said, take that and bring it to the dinner table, their story, and tell the story around the dinner table. What that child told you, that's a story. And you said they couldn't write. They can. You have to look for the opportunities. So I would keep for years and years diaries and things like that. Sometimes it may be just a sentence or a phrase or just, just a short story that my kids would say. And we go back, even my older kids, we go back and read through that stuff. And I'm like, remember when you said such and such? And sometimes that one doesn't, but another child will remember that time. But it's because I have been doing that all along. I used to keep diaries, so that's where that came from. So I still do that. She also mentioned freedom to take risks. Yes. The other skill is free writing. We spend a lot of time in free writing. That was something I'm touching on. But free writing, you just take 5 minutes of, a day and just everybody sit down and write. Just for that 5 minutes, don't stop writing. We used to do that so much in school. And it doesn't mean that you have to, you're not worried about grammar. You're not worried about spelling, any of that. Just write. If the child is, I don't know what to write, that's what they're going to write the whole time. Do not read that work. Just put it in a folder. Every day you continue to do that. That didn't make sense to me because somebody told me that, years ago when they were helping me, and it just didn't make sense. But eventually I would have things on the page and they were like, see how you progress from one day to the next? And I'm like, yeah. So I looked forward to that time.
You could just use the beef bologna our dad got.
Oh, okay.
For our sandwiches, because he got some. I read the recipe and it said beef bologna.
Really? Okay. Well, I didn't check the refrigerator. My bad. So yeah. Let's see. What does she say? It's something that on her website. It's a 9-week deal for free. You can do that, and at the end of the 9 weeks, you pick out a piece and let them read it and rewrite it. The rest you can just, get rid of. But, those are things that once you get them, I suggest start with the taking the writing the story for them. And that could start from a very young child. Okay. I do that a lot with the 4-year-old because she does not want to write all of those words. Some words she can write. She doesn't want to write all those words. I don't want to make her sit and write all those words. So I will write. And a lot of times when we do our stories and our narrations, I will write for the 4 and the 5-year-old. And she'll be 6 tomorrow. But yeah, I will just write it for them. They will tell me and I'll write it for them. So yeah, and that's what I started doing that with the little ones or the older ones. And pretty much everything we do, that's, in their notebooks. Now they're doing a lot of their work on their own. So, they're able to write more. And so some of the things, I kind of, let them not do over, but some things like we were doing. I showed you guys in the planning video, the map. Some of those maps we've done, those countries we hit, like Spain and, I don't know, Australia, all those. We already did those, but they have more than one map. That was the reason why I said I needed maps and flags. Because they did the stuff when they were younger. I want to see it now because it's neat. So, anywho, again, you can buy, if you need the help, but you guys really don't. You just need to take the time and look for information. You can come to me and you can ask, and I can guide you, because a lot of places and resources I know, it's a lot to share, and I only do it for somebody just coming to me, because I don't know if it's helpful to everybody. So, but yeah, I will, I'll continue to share the writing deal so that you guys can see, the process and stuff like that. And, ask more questions. Let's see. I like the math that the first speaker. Okay. Those were all some great points. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not strictly reading from my notes, but, she did really, I just kind of, started with her because it just kind of made sense. But like I said, everybody said a lot of what I have already been giving you all. Kathleen. Oh, yeah, that was Kathleen Lawler that spoke on the math. And she's with Right Start Math. So, yeah. Mom, don't make me think. Just tell me the answers. And she did a lot. And you guys, I took notes here and I vlogged. I vlogged notes, but I can't. Those are my notes. I can't put that stuff on here because it's a copyright. So you guys can't see the you can't see the footage. You have to be there. But I vlog my notes so that I can go back and kind of hear, because the replays and stuff like that, I don't have time for all that. I want to put my stuff together and just get the little points that I need without having to watch everybody all over again. Yeah, she really talked about a lot. What did you like? Can you remember specifically about the math? I like how she she talked about, taking math out of the abstract. And that really helped. Same thing with Mr. Demi. So Mr. Demi did 2 presentations. Of course, he's Matthew C. And he also gave a presentation on the influence of fathers. So, nice stuff. He talked about having, let me go back to Kathleen before that. She, like I said, go back and check out Right Start. That is very important. We need to teach our children to be critical thinkers. Yes, she talked about, everything from addition all the way up. She pointed out fractions, and, if you guys didn't know, fractions are just, you take away the lines, it's a ruler. How to, just mental math tricks and things like that. Using your AL abacus. Get them to think outside of the box. Don't just be so quick to give them, answers and things like that. What else? Something. Oh, she talked about doing fractions with the multiplication chart. Yes, in the math she discussed looking for patterns in multiplication charts. Yes. So, yes, you can do that. Again, I can't show you her. If you don't know, I'll probably come back and show you one day what she's talking about. I've never seen really anybody do it, but something I knew about. But, yeah, you can teach it, that way as well. I said fractions as a ruler. I teach multiplication as a ruler, on a ruler. We use the Cuisenaire rods and a ruler for multiplication. I did not see it that way. I was not taught this way. Yes, definitely. It was more just, book.
I only caught it cold because my feet were cold.
Oh, okay.
That time I cold.
Did you just wash your hands? It sounded like it. Just keep them clean. Okay, who's going to go back? Mr. Demi talked about, the math and how he started with the kids in high school and teaching them and using his tricks and things like that. Who else do we have down here? Somebody I'm missing. What did Mr. Demi say? Influence of fathers. He talked about how his responsibility for his boys are at birthdays to give them cards and write them letters, and how his grown children still have those letters that he writes them every year. His father didn't do that for him. He's, leaving a legacy, behind, something that he wished that he could have, and his kids, he knows, appreciate, those letters as adults. And he's glad that his wife encouraged him to do that. Twins at Heart and Family. I usually have a main resource with mathematics, but she uses multiple additional resources in math. I think it broadens the mind. Yes. Yeah, we use a variety of things because, I have one, it's very mental, very quick. The other one wants to see stuff, and that's why I have that math card, because it's more, they want to pick it up and move it around and see how it fits and works and breaks apart. Yeah. Let's see. Let me go back here. We have Audrey. And who did Audrey? Audrey first. It was her and her husband. Let me see. What was her topic? I didn't write her topic down. Tell you guys, I was writing so fast. I didn't. 7 Laws of Life Mission. Okay. She's at missiondrivenmom.com and on Facebook. So she was talking about 7 laws. It's a, course you can take. She also talked about something very, something that stuck out to me was when I gave you guys last year, the beginning of last year, I gave you guys a book, and we came back and we discussed the book because it's something that's very missionaries, something that's kind of, I want to say I don't know. I've been into missionary stories for as long as I can remember. But the kids really take away a lot too. But she was talking about, what was the book? Mom Enough. So if you guys didn't check that, desiringgod.org is where you can find that free download. But, and ever so often I go back and just read that book because it just, when you're having those times where you feel like you're less than and you need a good pick me up. Yeah. Then she talked about Corrie ten Boom. Corrie ten Boom was not one mentioned in that, but Gladys Albert was, and a couple more. But Corrie ten Boom. I just love the stories. So that's one that you guys may want to, if you're not into mission stories, try that one. I think the kids, will take a lot away from that. And it will just open you up to see, really who you are as a mom and as a person. Let's see. Chris, yes, talked about why students need computer skills. This age of technology is, booming. CompuScholar.com is who he works for. He talked about the Scratch program, coding, and things like that through MIT, scratch.mit.edu. You can, teach kids. The kids can learn coding on their own. Let's see. One of the ladies that presented the cookie business, I liked the idea, but one thing she kept mentioning was community. Yeah, I have her. She's somewhere on these notes. Cookieboys.com. Let me see. Boy, I did not realize. Yeah, the cookieboy.com. The cookieboys.com. And she's on Instagram with her daughter as the Bookie Girls. But yeah, she was talking about Jessica Hellman. Kids in business, entrepreneurship. Again, something I've always taught my kids, you got to have a side hustle. And, I learned to do a lot of things, jack of all trades, but also a master because, you have to have a side hustle. And so I was talking about, I talked to you guys about music, teaching the children to play instruments or hiring out if you have to. That is just a gift in itself. But also that's something that those kids can use later on into entrepreneurship. So, even if they don't go into it, you don't know, um, really, but they can go into it. Big influence for the kids on the violin is Daniel D. And I've shared on Instagram, Daniel D. Daniel D did not start out playing. He's in his early 20s. He only started when he was 12 because he took the class because a friend told him some girls were going to be in the class, cute girls. And he just picked that thing up and never put it down. And so, that's for me, that's an investment that I think definitely will lead to entrepreneurship if the child is really, they have a love for it. But pretty much anything a child does, they can turn it into business if they, that's their desire. So, pay attention to what the kids are doing and, just things that you would consider a hobby. That hobby may be something that they're just, really, really needing, and feed it. If you see, I had a child that liked to draw a lot. And so I'm like, let me go get some better quality, good quality, artist materials, because this child can really draw, and everybody else was picking up because they was like, did she trace this? No. And so they would sit there and watch her draw, and they were like, this child has a natural talent, let's foster this. So yeah, in order to have a successful running business, there must be a community. Yeah, and you have to, her kids, what she was saying was the boys started baking cookies and they would sell them around the neighborhood. And, of course they were selling out, she said the first couple times, like 20 minutes. And, one Sunday they didn't make any cookies, and the neighbors knocking on the door for the cookies. And, the thing was, yes, Mrs. Fields had done her thing, but, these are different cookies. These are, in the community. They know these people. We don't know Mrs. Fields, which is true. We did something like that before. The kids were younger. Like I said, we have done, so many things, and not to say that, they weren't successful. We just, it does, when you take on something like that, you really have to be committed and understand that it's going to take off. And so my kids understood exchanging the money, we're selling, this, that, and the other. So, they're turning talents. I have one that is, baking. So, just give them the right tools, watch what they're doing, and just foster it. Yeah, I have a cake baker. So, and yeah, and I'm just like, wow, you're really doing it. Another one is into other things. My sister used to paint rocks and sell them to the neighbors. Yeah, yeah. So never, think that just because somebody else did it that, look at, she was giving an example of Etsy, businesses like that. People are looking into, especially customized stuff, things. Look at the things that you buy, and then look at how you can make those things. If you're into making soap, if you're into making, to use the bath bombs, if you're into making lotions and, things like that, that could be something you could teach the children so that they can, see if they like that. Because, yeah, you can go to the store and buy that stuff, but guess what? If you actually know somebody and, you give them some, hey, try this out, what you think, and did they really like it? Guess what? You have, support right there. All the people that she talked about Facebook, all your social media, that's your business right there. So, it's just the thing is you have to understand that the potential, could possibly take off faster than you think. And then you have to be able to keep up. Her children eventually went on, working in she took them to a bakery, and I said, hey, can you, mentor? Can they understudy for, a week, a month? You don't have to pay them, but, this is what they're interested in. And yeah. So now one of them is, they stopped the cookies because it got, busy, but they picked it back up on their own. And, one is grown actually in a bakery or restaurant. My sister, no, right there. My daughter wants to learn to make dog clothes and make money with that. Yeah, because, those are things that not everybody knows how to do. So you have your own business and love that your girls are interested in starting their own. So yeah, that's a good thing, because somebody also, I'm not going to go very deep into it, but talked about the road less traveled. That was SJ Barnkey, Barkany. He talked about, not going to college. And, the thing is, and what I've put out is it's not impossible, but what is happening, and a lot of parents are low-key keeping their kids away from going to university because of the expense. Okay? Everybody has gone crazy. Their finances are out of whack, and they don't have the money, but nobody really wants to put that up there. That's what it is. So just go to community college. But the thing is, the child is going to come out with debt, and you don't want that. And that's what I've been showing you guys. My kids are not going in with debt, and they're not coming out with debt. We're not doing it that way. And what I also told them, just because you got in here, okay, for us, it's a little bit different. They don't have to take this road, but for us as a brown race, it really means more for us to be able to attend those places because we didn't have those options. So it is a little more important in our family. But what we said is you're going in to get their education, but you need to come out and use their education, make that education work for you, not work for that money. Okay? So they're coming out with a entrepreneur mindset, even further because they have gotten that further discipline to, really sit it out X amount of years, doing something that they really didn't have to. So, that's our thing. But, college, university, whatever, is no guarantee for anything. This child's going to graduate. There's no guarantee saying you're going to get job, career in this, in your degree. She may not even use that degree. We don't know, but we were grateful given the opportunity that we didn't have to put the money out, to attain it. And there's no debt. So another thing he talked about was, I'm pretty sure it was him, because I get a lot of the, side eye and all of that. Debt, period, okay? You have to diminish that as parents right now, before these kids even get into school, in any college, okay? Before they even graduate. And what that means is this needless spending, you have to stop that. Because you're taking income that you need to be saving. Going to the store here and there, you don't need all of that stuff. You have to go buy necessities, true necessities that you really, toothpaste, toilet paper, shampoo, deodorant, that type of thing. You don't need all the extra, you don't need all that stuff. Going to the hall this and hall that, you don't need that stuff. You are creating debt, and you are showing that child that you are creating debt every time you do that. Okay? I know somebody probably just checked out, but that's okay. I'm not the only one thinking like that. Okay. Yeah. And it's he said, it's more about what not what you are teaching your kids. It's about what they're watching you do. Okay, very important. Twins in heart. My daughter has debated about eventually going into the Air Force. I told her I support it because they will pay for college. Yes, yes, yes. They will pay for it. Yeah. My daughter wants to do a lot of things. And just know that, whatever, just make sure she study hard, because whatever she ranks on that ASVAB is what's going to determine her career path, and her pay. So, yeah. My daughter, let me see, I think the debt could be okay, but it depends on what the person is studying. Debt for a doctor's degree is different than debt from random degrees. They also talked about, going to, and I don't, let me see, was it him? No. A lot of people talked about the mainstream online classes where you don't have to, the massive open classes. Those are, ones that you really don't have to pay for. You just take them. He talked about, I think it was him. It was a couple people talking about kind of the same thing. But anyway, what it amounts to, it's right here. A half degree, you can save money that way. You don't have to go in and take everything that you need. That's listed for that degree, to get that degree. You can take what you know or what you don't know and leave the rest, because, when you get in there, not everybody needs to go through, like, when you go through your first year, it's basically a repeat of high school, and if you're paying for that, you could have saved that money. So, you only want to pay, for the classes that you really need. Now, you might not get that full, certificate degree that from that university or college or whatever, but you can take that and apply it elsewhere, is the point, and save time and stay out of debt at the same time. I was thinking about testing her ASVAB when she's in 8th grade. She knows what she knows and what she needs to work on. Wow, okay. Well, that's a possibility. And she can always retest. At times you can make more money working in a trade. Yes, they also talk about trades, because trades are hot. Then attaining a degree, did I put the list of them? You guys know what trades are. Just, all kinds of things that you can do without actually being degreed in it. Those are, very viable ways to make a living. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. We're big on science. And we like science. All right. Who else did we see? Where is my... Right here. Okay. Science. Well, you know what? Who did I skip? I skipped... Oh, no, I didn't skip anybody. We had Patrick Nur, and he talked about let the kids pick up rocks. And so I have do I have a lot on him? He did. I think he gave us a handout too. But, he was really on point with some things. What's the matter? What's the matter? Oh, you don't know. He was talking geology and science and things like that, and he was talking about how
we found the jury fish outside. saw it.
Okay, he won't. Put it back out there. The earth science in general just taught, during the 4th and 8th grades, and, parents just do it as a, just to, check it off. But it's something that, kids can do, and really take an interest. It can, turn into much more, and should. And he said the focus, interestingly enough, science in general, not just the rocks and the fossils, taught from a world point, biblical worldview. I'm trying to pull out my stuff. And so what he had was my little friends here, okay, and biblical worldview, okay, answers in Genesis. So I like that guy. But yeah, a lot of things. I was looking at some things, and he pointed out some things. My kids will call me on it, if they see something in a book. I'm trying to think, why did I pull this out? Oh, somebody else was talking about this. Wonder on the World. Something, millions of years old. Well, the Bible will debunk that. Okay. So that's just not true. But he was saying you have to be careful what you give to kids, especially in science, and you should teach from a biblical worldview, because they're getting apologetics. And that's, I shared the Bible lesson, and just, what we use, and just in general, science and Bible apologetics. Okay. Apologetics. You can back it up. They can defend their faith. It's just so easy. My kids want to know, why didn't the dinosaurs eat the people on the ark? They want to know. Some people don't care about this. Some kids don't care, but they want to know how they were so calm. How is the snake evil these days? They want to know. Wow, that is excellent. That is exactly what I'm speaking about. My husband started as a janitor cleaning at the grounds and moved up by watching. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So, he was talking about janitors, and just, kind of like public servants and things like that. Lots of opportunities there. So don't, those are the people we really depend on. Not necessarily those that have been college educated and degreed. I think you should get a well-rounded view, even if you don't agree. Exactly. Yes, you should. Now, I'm not saying that I'm just biased on that. We partake of everything, but the heart of us is we need to be able, because they will question me. The kids will question me. And if it does not line up, they just don't accept it as, and I teach them, okay, this person may think this way, and you may see this in this book. They have a different viewpoint, and that's okay. Okay. And along with that, we teach tolerance. Everybody does not, believe the same. Everybody's not, copacetic, that type of thing. But that's just how we do. And so that's what he was talking about in his home. That's how they educated their children. He was, a long time ago, his mom, they grew up in, did he say, because I've been on Utah, I think he said Minnesota, not Minnesota, Montana. He spent a lot of time at the library, old library, lots of books that, the library smelled like old books. Anyway, but his mom, made sure he was there, and, he was around a lot of older women. They would take him around places and stuff, and he has been traveling everywhere collecting fossils. He has dinosaur bones and just all kind of stuff. But he was talking about being able to observe and relate these rocks. Can you identify the rocks and connect them with the scripture? And I think when I did, what stuck out was when I did the hour-long room tour, I had the rock on the table, and I had came up to the computer, and I was trying to actually I had a couple. It was church, but I told you guys they were brought this stuff in here, and I had to pull up what it was. And I actually he has a couple books. I had his book open in another tab. But yeah, I make them identify this stuff before they bring me more. But I told them y'all have to stop bringing church. It's River Rock in the house because we're gonna have too many. But it's neat though, But they understand how far we can trace this back, and know that it's not something that is just man-made. So I know a couple people that are into geology, so that could be a good thing. But yeah, the connection with scripture. Let's see, Julia Collier. She talked about online courses, and Julia Collier is the dean at the Well-Trained Mind. So many of you all are familiar with the Well-Trained Mind and use the Well-Trained Mind, and Susan, Susan Wise Bauer, and so that's who she is. But she was talking about online classes. They have a whole big deal you can purchase for hundreds of dollars, and they teach the kids stuff. Middle school and up. She's not recommended for any students younger than that. They teach them how to manage deadlines and work out of class when class doesn't meet daily. Like college. They learn how to juggle different sets of styles and instructors' demands. They have to be proactive at getting to know the instructors. They learn with others of different backgrounds, skills, points of view, and beliefs, and this can improve the relationship with the child. So that point number 5 is, if you're having a issue with a child, and it's a struggle, getting let me throw out the writing, or something like that. If you're trying to teach that and it's just not clicking, you might need to hire out. So get the child a tutor, online classes, and that right there can help save a lot of frustration and headache. And she talked about how their classes are safe, and how they take a day to or a while to before the class actually starts, teach them how to navigate, because it's online classroom. Nobody it's only kids in the classroom, and that should be standard in any online classroom. You just have to be careful. And the thing is, the teacher, somebody brought up independent teachers. I would be very skeptical of an independent teacher. A tutor, coming to the house, something different. But an independent online teacher, because they really have to be on the up and up, and you really, even with a reputable company that they're working from, it's kind of hard to gauge. Online is just, I've heard so many stories just with online, like the K-12, the teachers are not, it's just not, I don't know. It's not the way you think it is. So, but she talked about how to choose an online provider, the administration. You want to find out, same thing as when I talk about curriculum, how detailed I am in doing the research. You want to know who's running it. You want to know what's their affiliations, and is the school accredited. Same thing I do when I research curriculum. I want to find out an accreditation. A lot of you guys, some people don't care. Some people don't know. Some people don't understand. Just because something says it's accredited does not mean, it's nationally accredited. To small entities can get together and accredit themselves, because you're paying for it. But for something to be nationally accredited, it's recognized by many. And so it's going to be ranked higher. I would trust something more nationally accredited. Say, for example, says kind of to do with online, but not. But what I'm thinking is like BJU and Abeka, how they have the virtual, components. You can do the thing on your own, or you can buy the accreditation. When most people are doing those things, they choose a curriculum, they're buying the accredited. To me, it makes more sense. I wouldn't waste my money on something that's not accredited. But how much is that accreditation worth? Well, guess what? BJU and Abeka both have universities. They accredit themselves. So their accreditation, it's going to hold up, but they accredit it themselves. So it's like they do their own thing. They write the Pensacola Christian, right? That's where the Abeka curriculum comes from. So I mean, they're not going to. It's a good curriculum because they said it is. They endorsed it the same way BJU endorses their own. Nobody else is going to. Not that it won't be endorsed, but it's their own. It's not a national deal. Calvert, that was the one that I had went to years and years and years ago. It's a national accreditation. Costs more, but sometimes I think she said you get what you pay for. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see. You want to check the Department of Education and see. You also, if you want to do online, you need to be involved. Don't just put the kid in the class and sit there. You need to check their attendance. You need to sit in on the class. You need to check their grades every week. You need to check for the messages from the instructor. You want to contact the instructors if there's an issue first, and you want to see. She said choose how much weight to place on the grades given. Yeah. That is a good way of doing it. Have realistic expectations of what online education will do for your child. Realistic expectations for what you'll be getting in exchange for the tuition and fees. Because some people think, I'm paying this money and I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z. Yeah. And it doesn't. Know how much time and commitment is expected and be realistic about your involvement. I.e., do not sign up for a class and then run out. Oh, we got to go to this place or we have to go to this place. You're wasting your money because that child has to be present in that class. Let's see. I didn't talk about Audrey. Pretty long. Audrey Renslenbacher. Or did I? Yes, I did. She was self-love. Her husband did a talk, Blaine, and he talked about discipline. Discipline. I'm not just into purchasing curriculums. I just don't see spending that much money. That's just me, but I know some good ones out there. But what they are charging is like spending the money for college. Exactly. And that's because people, you guys, y'all are, not say y'all, but we are a microwave society. Okay. And when I say I give you guys information that people are selling, the information, some stuff I may know because, if I had more experience, but a lot of this information, like this conference, for example, nobody was talking about it. Nobody knew about it. But the same way I find out these things, you can find out these things. Nobody is using this internet. And I'm not one that you guys know, I don't even like the internet, really. But nobody's using the internet truly to their advantage. There are things that you can find. There's information that you can find, but you're not really seeking it. You're seeking you want somebody to tell you what to do. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. You need to go look for that information for yourself. Like I say, the same way I found that conference, and there are others, you can go find that stuff. That's the stuff you need to be looking for. The information that they're selling you is out there for free. You just need to go look for it. Okay, trust me, it is out there. There are people sharing just like me for free, or little to no cost. It's plenty of people, because they just good measure, just on good measure. He talked about spending discipline of the child. And I had just said this, I think, in the last live before this thing. Give your child, I think he said 15 minutes a day. Yeah, I always spend, 15, 30 minutes a day with each kid individually. Non-interrupted. Sit there, hold your child, love on your child, sit there and just do, talk to them, play a game with them, read a book to them. Just really sit down and talk. I still do it with my older kids, 15 minutes. And that seems like a little bit, but the average child does not even get that much attention, truly. Because you're always saying, it's like a second. If you really add it up, they're not getting that much time, not that much individually, especially if you have more than one child. And most of the time when you have one, you really kind of leave that child by the wayside most of the time. But that is very important. Discipline, he was following like the same lines of what I talked about. What was put on my heart to share about the discipline of the child and the training of the child. You need to give your child clear expectations. No means no. You do not break and bend and cave because that child is acting a fool, because they will try you, especially in public. Okay? And people will just, because everybody's looking at them, oh my gosh, let me get this kid this. Me? You guys watch the vlog of them in the store? I put on Instagram. We were in IHOP and in Wingstop. Somebody, the people saying, oh, they're so well mannered. My kids know better. I trained them. If they act a fool or try to act a fool when we go somewhere, they will never go again. 7 years old, never been to IHOP. Not because they were acting up, but we got to get to that, Some of y'all are used to taking the kids here, there, and everywhere all the time. We don't do that. You have to earn that. If you stop and think, let these kids earn this stuff, you'll get better results. So, clear consequences. No is no. You're not gonna embarrass me. They wasn't run. They asked you guys what you guys did not see when we were in the children's place, when they asked for the sunglasses, because we were kind of by the register. And maybe we have sunglasses. Okay, go get your sunglasses. I took the pictures. You guys saw the sunglasses. That was it. We went to Marshall's. You didn't see them running up and down the aisles acting a fool for them toys. They didn't do that because they knew they were just happy just to be there. We can go to Target. We can go to grocery store. We can go wherever. They're not going to cut a fool. You're not embarrassing me, because if we at the grocery store, oh, you really going to have a problem, because guess what? If we have to leave and we don't have any groceries, I'm not going to have nobody saying, oh, starving the kids or neglecting the kids. You go buy the groceries, because they were acting up. Let me do me in my house. Okay? That's not us. My kids know that there's a consequence. Same thing for the older kids, and I said, I commented to that. Sometimes those consequences affect the whole family. For example, you have children all children should have some sort of responsibility according to their age and their development. If you have a child that is on the dishes, that's their job to do the dishes, the kitchen, or what have you. They don't wash the dishes. It's time to eat. Or time to go cook. Because, see, I'm not even going to cook if the dishes aren't washed. That's how I am. But it's time to eat. And you have no clean dishes. That affects the whole family. Okay? You have to nip that stuff in the bud. You can't just let it go. Because one time you let it go, they're going to keep doing it. And guess what? The next child is going to see it. And they're going to try it. It's like the Cosby Show. They try that. But you nip it in the bud. My kids would try that stuff all the time. And then they got hip. They was like, well, she tried it. We can't. You sure can't. You sure can. Because, you know, a couple of them times I got in my car and I went and drove to somewhere and I got me something to eat and I came back and I just sat there. Dinner. And they sitting there like, where's our dinner? But you didn't wash the dishes. But I'm grown, so I could do that. They learn, y'all, real quick. Train them. You know, he was saying train them. You know, you want to train them. So just, you know, you have to, Parenting with Love and Logic, really good book. The Me Epidemic, Amy McCree is another good one. And he talked about his wife's reading program. Audrey Renlenbacher.com. So you can go check that out. But yeah, you have to, you got to train these kids up. You can't, a lot of this burnout and depression and anxiety in the homeschool, again, it comes from parents' lack of discipline. It's not the child. It's the parents' lack of discipline. I cannot stress enough this right here. He talked about how they don't watch TV. Yeah. Okay. I'm telling you guys. And it's not what you say to them. It's what they see. I see somebody always in chats. You guys notice I don't do chats during certain hours because school hours. I respect that. I'm busy. And I don't want to pull anybody from schooling their children into my chat. I don't do that. But I see chat certain times. What I have a habit, what I have done, I keep my phone down. I turn down the volume. Half the time, I don't pick it up. I bring it in here, and I don't pick it up. I just leave it in my room at night, case of emergency, you know. But I don't even, until around this time of the day sometimes, I don't even turn the volume up. I don't check for messages. I don't check for anything. What needs to happen, for those of you that really cannot control this, the same way you installed those apps, Instagram, Facebook, we need you to do. I am. A whole video on discipline is the key. YouTube, uninstall that mess. So that every time you want to do this, you have to install it, then log in. That's going to take you a lot of time. I hear somebody all the time in these chats. My kids... text message, are having a good time. Hi, homeschooling and a doodle. Y'all, I have a whole little, I just love her. Regarding feeding the children. I have a whole little spill on Jenny, y'all. I'm gonna upload it probably tomorrow. But hi. Anyway, I'm just vibing. I get what you said. I got the message. I get what you said about that, but it's not like that. And if somebody take that out of context, too bad. I have seen, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I have seen people arguing about sending their kids to bed hungry because they chose not to eat what was served. And people arguing, they didn't even get a child a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's wrong. Let somebody call somebody on me because I just said what I said about these kids. Okay? Been there and done that. They came in and they agreed. You did the right thing. Okay? Case closed. So, like I said, somebody take that out of context. I'm not, they ate. They were not starved. But my point is, if you let that child take control one time and you deviate from that, no, that child, even a 2-year-old, has got you and you have no discipline. Okay, but what I was getting ready to say was your devices, you need to uninstall all those apps. You need to keep that phone away. When you are schooling your children, you need to really be putting that focus on your children. Okay, you're not worried about whose video is popping up, whose chat is popping up. Close those tabs on your computer. Okay, close them. That way you won't even be tempted. You shut the computer down. When it's school time, If I'm in here, I'm doing a live chat in the morning, I'm doing my live chat. When the kids come, you might see them. I go feed them. When I log off from the chat, it's shut down. That's it. I don't come back in here until I'm free. Totally free. I'm not working while I'm trying to help them, do what they need to do. That's just, it doesn't work because I can easily, oh, well, let me just check this out. Let me check this out. Let me check this out. And that's what happens on social media. The kids, you have them, okay, do this assignment. Okay, they know how to do their math. Okay, and so you don't have to help them. And so you're sitting here in the room and you have nothing to do. So what do? Pick up the phone and there you go on Instagram. The child sitting over there and you on Instagram. And then you in the chat and you saying, my kids are chaotic. The house is chaotic. I don't know what's going on. They're wilding out. You know why? Because they're watching you do this. You don't have to say anything, but kids watch you. You don't have any discipline. I thought this was school time. Why are you on your phone? My kids will say this is a no phone, no social media zone. Some people need to put a sign up that says that so you can be reminded, seriously, turn your phone off. Kind of get serious. But that's what he was saying. You really have to be disciplined. It goes back to that. And if you don't really call yourself on it, you truly don't have that discipline. So, I mean, some people it's a given. Some people you really have to work at it. And that's my suggestion is if you're really having a hard time, if you say it's only 10 minutes, you're going to have that child is going to start wandering for 10 minutes. They're going to make an excuse to not do what it is that they know how to do because they've seen you casually pick up the phone, casually open up YouTube on the computer. They're watching you do that. So uninstall it, shut it down, and that way you won't even be tempted to do it. Just like discipline with eating. Oh, I only eat a little bit of this. I only eat a little bit of that. You know how to stop that? Don't buy it. I have a whole deal about picky eaters. I see a lot of that. My child won't eat this. My child won't eat that. Unless your child has a medical condition, your child is going to eat. Okay? They will eat. The problem is, for those of you that have to take them to the grocery store, you take them to the grocery store, they see all of the stuff. You take them down the chip aisle. You take them down the cookie aisle. You take them down the ice cream aisle. So they know what's there. But guess what? If you don't have the discipline enough yourself to not bring that mess home, what you think they're going to ask for when you in there cooking a full course meal? Can I have some tater chips? I don't want this. I'm full. And then 10 minutes, the table clean, the kitchen clean. Can I have some cookies? Guess what? Don't bring that mess home. Who's paying for it? Don't bring it home. If you want some cookies, we going to the cookies to the store that day. If I'm thinking, I might get them some cookies. We're going to go to the cookie, or I'm going to have the cookie dough, frozen cookie dough.
You need to put out the Amber Alert again because Baby Moo is lost again.
Baby Moo is lost again, and we need another Amber Alert. Oh, my gosh. We just found her this morning. Where was the last place you saw her?
In your room.
Okay. I'll put out another Amber Alert in a little while, okay?
Okay.
Tell you about that in a minute. But the cookie dough or the mix or whatever you do, don't buy packaged stuff. Have something that you have to make. That way it won't be so easy to just here, because they won't be quiet. Y'all, I have 9 kids. I know they will aggravate the mess out of you if you let them. Here. And they'll come back. They eat that up 20 minutes later. But can I have this? And if I'm on the phone or I'm, here. I had to learn a long time ago, you can't be doing this. You can't. love it. It's addictive to our kids. So why wouldn't it be addictive to us as well? You can waste an hour on the internet before you even know it. My phone stays on mute. Hello, Jenny. Well said. Yes, on mute. Very seldom you will hear, you will hear the phone, but most of the time, yeah. Like I'm in here, you guys, I'm answering the phone, but you don't hear it, but I do, because I can see it. But so yeah, I have a whole little, the picky eating thing. Don't bring that stuff home. That's how you solve that really quickly. And we don't have you eat this or you don't. You have 3 or 4 things on that plate. You're gonna eat 3 of those things on that plate. I may compromise on 1. That's it. I had let the kids pick. My kids are really good. They don't all eat everything, but they're not what I consider picky eaters. I'm not just constantly making the same thing. This is what I'm going to eat. I'm not eating anything else. I don't have that problem. I trained them very early, because when we grew up, we didn't have a choice. We had to eat what was served, and that was it, or we didn't eat. So, yeah. And, the little lesson I said about me going to go get something to eat. The kids were older. I'm talking like 10, when they tried to get slick with it. 10, 11, 12-year-olds. And the teenagers. They didn't want to wash the dishes. Okay, put it on the counter. So it wasn't little kid. It wasn't like they can not go in there. But, yeah, that's why I wasn't, I also said I had a lock on the pantry. My grandmother grew up with a lock on the refrigerator and the deep freezer. So that's not, that's not something I'm going to worry about. Somebody, potential harm. But it's just good to know that people, have like-minded opinion on the phone thing and the social media thing. It's very easy to, but it starts when they're small. A lot of what I see and I'll be talking about is book work. A lot of time being spent on book work. For those of you that have little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even bless you. Character. Spend a lot of time on character. You need to spend the majority of time teaching character development. Because, see, in school, if they're in public school, that's what happens. That's why they have homework. The teacher have to deal with all these kids with all these different personalities and backgrounds and issues. That's why school does not, it's not progressing the children. The teacher is spending more time correcting behaviors that should have been already addressed. If the children were raised properly, of course not everybody is going to be, on the up and up, but if they were raised properly, it wouldn't be so hard. And so for us at home, we have the ability to do that. Spend more time developing that character, and the rest of it will come. It will come. The ease of the work, the attitudes will diminish. It will not be such a struggle. We come in here, I pray every morning. There's no I tried to. I told you guys, if they wake up during my couple hours, because I always get up a couple hours before them, then guess what? They're going to join me. I'm not going to let them hinder me from having my time. They're going to join me. I'm reading from this book. Let's sit down and read the scripture. It's just that easy. You cannot try to do it. You just do it. And your mindset, it will bring a calm about the day that will set the tone for the day. But the minute you don't do it, stuff is haywire. I hear you have to get up in the morning, take a shower just to wake up and get things going and things like that. Jenny, you guys check out Jenny's channel, Homeschooling in a Doodle. Yes, a certain, because if you don't, you just feel a certain way the whole day. You feel a certain way, and like I say, sometimes if I am on see a video or something like that, in the morning, I might wake up feeling, up and up good, and I see something and it just kills my whole mood. So I try not to, I just avoid those situations. Food is harder for us because I have one with sensory processing disorder and severe sensory issues aside from medical issues. So yes, yes. And that's what I'm not, I understand that there are children. I have one that I'm watching. I never really kind of related it, but I see my little one is like that. And I'm like, it's the textures thing that, but so I don't fight her about it. I don't make a big deal about it. I've never even said anything to anybody else about it. I just know that she doesn't like certain things, and butter is one. She can, she just is like that. So I'm very, particular on stuff, with her. And when I show you guys their plates, she's usually one with a different plate. Okay. She doesn't really eat meat either. So, I just kind of work with her on things, but it's not oh, you're going to eat this or you're not going to get anything. She eats just fine, and I enjoy when she eats. Thanks for the shout out. But yes, a shower is necessary in the morning. A shower in the Lord is necessary to get the day started well. Yes. So, MLR saying hi, homeschooling in a doodle. So yeah, you want to set a certain tone and get it done. I hear all over this thing that I couldn't get a shower today. My house is a mess. And I just, and I encourage you all always, especially for the new, the homeschoolers, starting their journey or thinking about their journey. The first thing you want to do before you even look at curriculum or anything else or any kind of videos, clean the house up. Purge everything you need to purge. And I need to purge some more stuff. Okay. I'm getting ready to, you guys know I'm in a busy season, but June is coming. This stuff is going. More stuff. eBay. But clean the house up. Because that's the number one thing that will ruin and wreck the school for a long time. You have to really be disciplined. Okay? It's down to a cup in a sink. A single cup is going to bother you. It might seem kind of, minor, but if you train everybody to keep things in their place, because if it's just that cup, guess what? Somebody's going to see that cup, and then they're going to bring a cup, and then somebody else is going to bring a cup, and somebody else is going to bring a cup, and you're going to have that same issue all over again. Okay? So you want to take away as much as you can. You want to make sure everything has a place so that you're not struggling in the mornings to get up, get your shower, get fed, deal with, somebody that may be sick or somebody, whatever, and then have to worry about cleaning the house and get school done. You could be tired before school even starts. You could be exhausted. And I actually see videos and chats like that. I was exhausted when I woke up, and I'm like, wow. So you want to avoid that, and you can. Just get the house in order. Get everybody on board with things. Who else? Donna Goff came and talked about parenting on the 3-ring circus, and she talked about different types of rings. You can check her lion tamer in the 3-ring circus. Bring one, create a meal plan. Have a backup. You have a plan A and a plan B. I already gave you guys years ago because somebody asked me, personal friend asked, how do you manage all this food? How do you do this? And it was 2 videos. I think probably about 30, 45 minutes a piece. Inventory, everything in the house, keep an inventory. That's how I go to the store. I'm not one to go to the store every week. I don't have time. I need to have everything in my house that I need. And I have a tendency of buying the same thing. And so I might not need, we always need bread. I might not need, you know what? I forgot to buy black pepper last month. Guess what? I don't have black pepper. So now I got to wait till next week to go get some black pepper. Stockpile things, and the way you do that, even if you don't need it. Quinoa, I have a lot of quinoa. I have more than I need. Buy it anyway. What happens is if you start buying extra stuff, what I see a lot of people, I need to go get a little bit of food for the day. or, for a couple days. You end up buying unnecessarily when you can just make a master inventory and buy from that. But the main thing is, know when you run out of things. Know how much your family is going through each month. I show you how to check that stuff off and all of that type of thing, so you can kind of keep track. Actually, I taught my kids how to do it. And once they got old enough, my kids would make the grocery list for me, because I couldn't never remember. And sometimes one would come with me, or they would text me, stuff. But I taught them how to do that. So they knew how the pantry ran and how to, subtract. Okay, we use this and we use this and we use this in this recipe. And, but 3-ring circus: get up early, feed your soul, take a shower, groom, make your bed, gather, and start the laundry. Follow through with it. My laundry is right there. When I get up from here, I'm going to the restroom and I'm going to the laundry room. Great breakfast, no carbs. You want to get your dinner prep, put it in the crock pot or what have you. Do your dishes. You want to exercise and you want to do a 30-minute power clean. She was talking about how she knows she can steam mop her, house in 30 minutes. You want to focus on something for 30 minutes and let that be it. One day she may tackle the mail for 30 minutes because it will pile up. So little areas like that, once you get that overall clean, and she has a lot of kids. I think she said she has 7 or 7. Yeah, I think she has 7. But if you get that overall clean, all you have to do is maintain it. So little 30 minutes, Notice she didn't say anything about social media. Notice none of these people said anything about social media. But she did talk about ring 2. She talked, because she runs her site. She talked about what she did. She says I think it's in ring 3. Yeah, it's in ring 3. How she manages, because she runs a lot of stuff. She said train a child in habits, how to work the habits. Teach a child. You got to teach them how to do, just the way you teach them how to do their work. Don't expect them to know how to do it. I broke it down. Child, go put your laundry away. That is not what you do. I hear people, in groups saying, I yell at my kids, on the chats, I yell at my kids. I don't tell my kids, go put your laundry away. Take this shirt, this pair of pants, these pajamas, go put them in this drawer. If it's on the floor, you want them to clean the room. Pick up this toy, pick up this shoe, pick up this towel. Put these things here, here, and here. Because if you don't do that, you waste a lot of time. I even do that with my teenagers, you guys. Because I found that, because they would say, it sounds like you're giving commands. You're telling us to do this, this, and this, and this. And then it's not happening fast enough. And so when they were, that's just how I've been doing it. You have to, little by little, and you have to keep doing it over and over and over. I still have to do that with the teenagers. This up, this here, this there. Okay? Some parents don't have to pay you, but you got to have the patience. That's what I'm saying. You have to have the patience. You got the patience to get on the social media. It's a discipline. It is a true discipline. And it's, do you want disobedience? You want to be disobedient, or do you want calm? Because what you're getting is chaos. But the reason why you're getting the chaos is because you're putting it out there. You're wrecking everything in the home. That's what's happening. And mom is saying it's chaotic. It's chaotic because you made it chaotic. You want it chaotic. If you want it calm, you can get it calm. You got to take control of it. She said let them play 12 toys. She said somebody have an area rug in the living room. One area they play toys, not all over the house. Amen for that. And that way they put them toys up after they finish. Read to your children every day. I already talked about that. Read. All we do is read. Read. Teach general knowledge together. Yeah, that's why we do a lot of stuff together. And that's stuff that can be done in the morning. I have some of that coming up. I showed you guys the little basket down here that houses like what we do in the morning. They have their little morning work basket back there. But stuff that we do, the reason why, you guys don't know, I'm multilingual. I teach the kids different languages and things like that. a lot of stuff we do really quickly. We can get that stuff done in an hour. Sign language, foreign language, whether it's French, Spanish, German, Arabic, I say sign language. I don't know, whatever languages we learning. All that kind of stuff. Composer, music theory. We can get that stuff done. I sit them down. This is what we're doing. Bam, bam, bam. And it's done. Okay, general stuff. We can get our geography done if that's all we're focused on, because we focus on one subject pretty much a day, and then we will get everything else done after that. Okay, I can't stress myself out. But she has a little plan, something about home, 1 hour, power hour schooling. And then after that power hour, you go, if you want to go take a nature walk or you got an errand, know that after you spent that whole hour, you have done a lot, because that hour of time accumulates, and then you have put in that time. Not we have to get up and get to the store. We have to, let's go over here. Let's go over there. No, the focus is homeschooling the children. Okay. Teach skills she talked about on a one-on-one. She talked about how they do math every other week. Teach a concept, and that's it. One concept every other week. Language arts, teach everybody about periods. We do that. Question mark. Everybody's going to learn about question marks. I think in the last Homeschool Live, maybe 2 before that, you guys saw me. They were doing a grammar lesson. Everybody doing the same thing. It was on sentences using periods. Teach that stuff together. You can teach a little child that, and eventually once they master that concept, they will get better at it. You move on to the next concept. Teach everybody how to add 1 week, 2 weeks. Teach everybody how to subtract the next 2 weeks. Teach everybody, that's how you do it. What did she say? And she talked about having one of her kids being very colicky and her husband not being home. And she had a time, and one of the older kids, because she said she had a big span between the older ones and the younger ones. The kids were helping her. Include homeschooling in the daily routine. Okay, you put that in your routine. It's not something that you just do. Homeschooling needs to be in your routine. It is part of your day. You are not answering the phone. You are not going visiting anybody. You're not scheduling out things or commitments during homeschool time.
I think she's famous.
Famous? Oh my goodness. Why is she thinking she's famous?
Famous means cool.
Cool. Okay. And so how does that make you feel?
Sad.
Because she feels famous, or she thinks she's famous, you feel sad?
And I'm mad.
And you're mad. How do you think you can calm down? What can you do to calm down?
I don't know.
You don't know? Would you like to just take a break by yourself? Do you think that would help?
It's made me fall.
And so you're just all sorts of sad right now, right?
Yeah.
How about you want to draw a picture about it?
No.
No? Okay. You want to color with the paint pens?
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody must have took my paper. No, I keep paper, right? Hold on. Okay. I'm going to give you a piece of paper, and you use the paint pens, and whatever you come up with, you will put it in your book, okay? Here you go. This is 2 sheets. There you go. All right. So, it says, don't push them aside. Validate their feelings. Let them know what's going on. Help them understand. Figure out how you can make them feel better. Sometimes, kids will come in and just all blown up and just having a fit. But, they're going to react how you can react, or you can, really be proactive. We're doing a lot of studies together this school year, and I'm looking forward to it. It's an art to learn the balance of life. It is. Yeah, it's a balancing act. It truly is. And so let me go back while she's in here and I'm thinking about it. She has, you guys, we have showed you guys, Miss Moo. She has a stuffed animal, and we have a Webkins baby Moo that belonged to one of my teenagers. Anyway, Miss Moo and baby Moo, she sleeps with them, and they have been missing. And so I said to her, what can we do? They're missing. And she was sad. What can we do? What happens when people or children are missing? And she said, and because I know this, she said, we should put out an Amber Alert, because on my phone, the Amber Alert comes to my phone. Okay, so I have them, and every time they hear it, they come and it's a discussion about it. So child safety, okay. And so I said, okay, let's put out the Amber Alert on the phone, and or on the on them. And I said, can you describe them, because that has to be in the description, in the alert. And so she starts describing them, and lo and behold, one day I was tidying up in my room, and I found Miss Moo. And I came and I said, well, you know what? Praise the Lord, because the Amber Alert worked. And so baby Moo was still missing. I just found baby Moo today, or yesterday, last night, I think. When did I find baby Moo? This morning? It was this morning. So anyway, she was missing because somebody intentionally hid her.
We lost baby Moo.
Yeah. So anyway, I found her, and same deal. Guess what? Because we did, we talked about the Amber Alert last night, and we prayed again, and baby Moo was found. So it's little bitty stuff like that. I just, do stuff like that. Kids love stuff like that, you guys. Just little bitty stuff you think that does not matter. But again, the point of it was child safety, and so they get it. Languages, like I said, multilingual, sign language, French. Oh, I didn't say German. German. I grew up in Germany. German, Spanish, Arabic. Yeah, that's all of them. But yeah, stuff like that we kind of hit up on a daily basis. That way they stay up on it. And a lot of times we do have more time later on to go back into that stuff and really, but like 15-20 minutes is all it takes to do, certain things. We don't spend a whole lot of time on stuff. We study our composers, and they can go and tell you, months later, the details about the composer, or the artist, and without even opening their notebooks. So yeah, we do, we keep notebooks on everybody, and do timelines and stuff like that. But this is telling me that without any kind of tests or anything, that they are, what I'm doing, they are really comprehending. It's really, it's sinking. It's not just I'm doing something and it just feels like a routine. And because I have the older kids, and because they are, graduating high school and graduating college, I already know the result. What I'm doing something right. I already know that. A lot of you all have not gotten to that point yet. And that's the reason why it feels so laborious, because you have no discipline, and you have no plan, truly. And you're going through the motions every day, and you have to come out of that. And there's a lot of things that kind of contribute to that. Like I said, there's a lot of chats that are coming up that will, kind of talk about this. So you guys, I want you all to be able to just interact and let me know, because a lot of times I see the stuff in comments, or I see it in other people's videos, and then I constantly see it. I see the same thing. And I'm like, so-and-so just said that too. So-and-so just said that too. And not saying that I have all the answers, but I just sat in this week-long thing to hear these people say some of the things I've already been telling you all. So it kind of makes sense. Let me go back to Donna, the home business part of it. She said have a plan, Pinterest business plan. You can come up with a plan if you want to run a home business, because moms can do that. We can do that. We don't have to just be mom. streamline your business. You get on social media for only 10 minutes and you get off. Okay. You try doing time chunks. Okay. I do a lot of my stuff in time chunks. I would love to be able to sit down and just write and write and write on each little thing, each little project that I'm working on. I don't have that kind of time, you guys. Like I said, I had to do the kids' hair. I got to pack. I'm trying to clean a room. and it's like, if one more thing happens, I'm at the point where now I have literally 8 days before I need to get on the plane. If anything else happens, I'm just like, I can't. Please let nothing else happen. That's all I can say, is because I don't know how I'm going to manage all this. I feel that, stress like everybody else. Everything is not all, together, but I'm saying I do, the way I do things, that affects how I manage. I don't let things, take over. If we have to stop school, right now, if we don't do anything else for the next, until I come back, I'm fine. I will be perfectly fine. We're not missing anything. But I have been getting the projects done that I thought I would not get finished. Seemingly, I'm getting them done. So, I don't know. Let's see. She said, take the weekends off. Some people work the weekends. But, yeah, take the weekends off. That way you can have your time with your family. And, we spend a good Sunday morning and Sunday evening, really, because that's when we, really prepare for the week. So we do a lot of get our Bible study started on Sundays. So after dinner, because we're just, everybody's calm, everybody's fed, and we just, hey, come here. And we just sit down and kind of get ready and prepare ourselves for tomorrow. Homeschooling Doodle says, wait a minute. Twins at Heart said, my daughter wants to learn Farsi because my uncle is Iranian, but hard to find her. Oh, yeah. I will look out for some things. I don't know if, oh my gosh, I can't even think. Duolingo has Farsi, but I'll keep that in mind. I'll write that down. That way, if I come across something, I know friends that know it, but not anybody that, has. I mean, that's because that's their background. Do you guys? We homeschool year round, yes, for more flexibility and because we live in the great state of Texas where it's hot as mercy when June comes. So we don't want to be outside, and that's a good time for us to take advantage of,
I got 2 papers.
Schooling. And the majority, homeschoolers in the state kind of do that. And then what happens for us is, with the exception of this time, this graduation, this just happened, and this is like a one-time deal, except for last year when we moved, but we really didn't stop. That I'm taking off because I'm physically leaving and going on a plane. We're actually stopping school, but I can say we're not doing school. They will go and get whatever and do whatever, and to me, they're still doing school, or they're watching something, they're still doing it. We're just not sitting here in a formal setting. My kids will go do their devotions. They will read their Bible lesson, just whatever on their own, because that is their nature. We're not into TV, but, we tend to, around when the kids start to go back, the public school kids go back, we will relax a little bit and get out because it starts to cool off. It's not so rainy, and we get to enjoy ourselves without, crowds and just, the unruliness because of all these kids. Somebody. Oh, well, thank you for somebody subscribe to me. But, yeah, we, but I understand some that will take off in the summer because of, it's just how it works. Your children's friends are at home. Your social groups may be at home during the summer, so you take off during the summer. That makes sense. Everybody has their own, their own rhythm and their own schedule. But yeah, for us, it's more or less about the weather. It just, it just kind of flows like that. We take off Saturday through Monday. Yeah, and sometimes that happens for us. It'll be Friday, it'll be Saturday, it'll be Sunday, it'll be Monday. I may wake up on a Monday and just get into the Bible myself and just not want to come out. What?
God said the bee cuss word.
Go and get off the window. What else is a factor? Oh, if I have my own class, if I'm in class, obviously, that affects my course load affects our schooling, but not to where anybody's being neglected. Get off the window. Get off the window. We all work year round, but the summer is mostly reading and math. Yeah. And then, in the summer, usually around this time, I just start to kind of wind things down. I will go back through the year and just look at what everybody has. In the beginning of the year, I write down like goals and things like that, things that I want the kids to hit up, and hopefully, see if they can hit those milestones. If not, it's not a big deal, but I see if they have met those things, where they need help with, and I just spend a lot more time helping them. That way, they have extra, help, and we're not, if something else happens to where, like one of these times and I have to go somewhere and, that's just how it is, or somebody's sick, they're not just going to fall behind. Also, if I'm not doing chats on Sundays, or like not during this time, but usually earlier in the morning after breakfast, I tutor the kids. So, and I consider myself tutor anyway, but I will take them one-on-one and just help them. When I watch what they're doing through the week, and I see whatever they're having trouble with, I will come in and bring them in here, and we just work on those things. Just a one-on-one. I give them other things during the week to help with that, but I like to give them that one-on-one time. So I'm like, hey, come on over here. Let me, let's do some of this. And it's not anything invasive. And then they have that time, and sometimes it just turns into I'm just talking to them. It's nothing. I like to conference with my kids and find out from them, their thoughts and their troubles on the week. Yeah, I got our 6 subscribers today. Oh, me and my daughter is excited. I'm super excited. Homeschool next year. A lot of STEM learning next year. We're going to be year-round schooling for me and her. It's not about learning a certain time of week. Yeah, I think we learn every day. Exactly. We learn every day. It's a lot when you just don't even think about it. Life skills, that is a learning experience. So, let me go back over here. Okay, you know what? I need everyone. Okay. Uh-oh. Real life, y'all. Real life. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Real life. Wait a minute. No. Now, you're yelling at her. She's yelling at you. And nobody's doing anything productive. Okay? Now, if she has something that is mine, she will bring it to me.
And it's not yours. I found it first.
Excuse me. I'm talking. You found the money where?
On the ground.
All right. Case closed.
Outside.
Where is it?
Tree has it.
Okay.
It was outside on the ground.
Okay. We'll have a seat. You want to come and draw a picture? Or you just want to just calm down?
I want to go to the store.
Okay. In a few minutes, perhaps. Okay?
I want my own shit.
Oh, okay. Have a seat. Zaya, are you finished with your painting? You did not take your paint pens out. What happened?
The neighbor said,
No, I don't know about that.
yeah.
What do you have? Let me see it.
I don't have it.
Hold on now. What do you have that she has? Okay, but what is it about the money? What is it about the money that is bothering you so much? Because he has it, or because he has it and you want it? That's not a reason to get upset because he has something. He's not doing anything with it. He's not bothering you. Do you want to come with the paint pen? You want to come use the paint pen and try?
Yeah.
Yes. Come tell me so. You're going to be a big girl, right? Hmm? Come on. Come on. Okay, well, come get your own paper. That's fine. You can have paper. Oh, boy. See, I told you guys they are not perfect. Somebody's arguing about some money somebody found, and anyway, she needs to she is my what do you call it? My very what do you call it? Everybody has one. She's the emotional child. Actually, I have two, but yeah, she's very emotional. Every time something happens, her favorite thing every 5 minutes is I'm telling. And so yeah, to tell her she's not. Now I have one instigating. Yeah, I'm telling you, they're normal kids. So I'm gonna have to put her in the room so she can calm down. My hope is that this next year she will kind of relax with that. She'll be 6 tomorrow. I have one that'll be 6, and the other one will be 16 tomorrow. So my other set of twins. But I'm hoping that she'll relax. She kind of has that middle child syndrome, even though she's not really the middle child. So yeah, throw that into the mix of homeschooling. Welcome to the real world. But all in all, lots of good stuff in this conference, and like I said, it was going to this thing for this entire week. You come out with a whole different mindset. I think the only person I did not speak on was Nicolene Peck. She talked about what did she talk about? Parents feed the need. Aliyah. I'm not ignoring her, but you see, I'm not giving in to her. That's something that you guys would do. That embarrassment will cause you to give in. I addressed her feelings. I validated her feelings. She's okay. They feel the need to break from instruction. So what happens is you make a lot of excuses to get out of the house. You cause these distractions. You cause these, commitments outside of the home because you want to break. She talked about like homeschooling year-round versus homeschooling, on a traditional schedule. Hold on. Why are you sitting on the table? Come here. I don't have the money. Why are you sitting on the table? Because Anyway. Yeah. The bad part is there's more than one of them, and stuff like this can happen every 5 minutes. So, but y'all know that because everybody has kids. Mine is 7. my my 7 is very emotional. Yeah, that's her. Like I said, I have one more, but she's older now. But I mean, if you just look at her a certain way, she cries. I'm like, really? So, yeah, good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Anxiety. She talked about anxiety, tears, battles, distractions, how you diminish those things. You teach the child to take ownership of um, their issues. She needs to own what the issue is. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. He's found some money. She just wants to go off because he has the money. She wants the money. This is nothing valid to it. She just wants to whine. Create your homeschool culture. Let me pick this up so I can read. So yeah, you want to, the culture, yeah, the chaos and stuff like that. That's what I was talking about. You create that yourself, and then want to bring everybody else into it and say, no, it's this, is that. And again, I'm not blaming her for anything that's going on. That's her nature, and I know that. It was funny because I was just talking to her dad about that, and some stuff was going on. And I was like, with her, you have to pick your battles. It was pointless when that's just her nature. I'm not going to give in to her, but at this point, the child is going to be 6. You should know her by now. Refuel with your family. Mom is, hey, I'm late. Hey, busy trying to look for social media as an outlet, and I need a break. The point where she was like, yes, you take a break at certain times of, the year, but don't let it be a long break. Kids need that constant. You need to train them to go get their own things and do their own thing.
What to draw.
Don't be so quick to run away from the family and social media to sink your emotions and your comments of despair into. Okay? Don't do that. That's why I said you don't hear me coming on here talking about, they gave me a hard time. I'm just, that's not me. I'm not constantly talking about things like that. It just because that will sink somebody else's spirit. I'm trying to be more of a motivation and a help, but at the same time show you that we are real life. I'm not just showing you and telling you things. Real life issues happen in this home. These kids are real. It's not scripted. Somebody might want to have a full-blown fit. It just might happen. Teaching self-government. Yeah, self-government. Kids, again, she was like, Blaine, kids need to know consequence. I was taught, I'm going to put the fear of God in you. And that was just enough right there. Teach some kids what the fear of God means and let them go with it. Okay? Because some of the parents don't have the fear of God. They just, yeah, But I just talked about, being obedient and what it means for me. Okay? I don't know about anybody else. But for me, I have the fear of God. Okay? Leave her alone. Okay? She talked about, you can go on the porch. Are you holding your child back? Sometime mom could be the one holding the child back. So let me go back up here. It says, should homeschoolers have a philosophy? I think you should. You know, like I say, I'm this stuff, this homeschooling. Even though I've been here in this, you know, sharing with you all this homeschool stuff, but a lot of this stuff is like new. We didn't have labels and terms for this stuff. Stuff that, you know, it's just stuff that I did. I always did this. I didn't know about it was a certain philosophy and a certain principle. It just, you know, the way of life. It's just how we grew up. I didn't know you had to, you know, it's a label. Okay? But I didn't know about all that stuff. So I learn something new every day. But again, I don't put labels on things. I have something coming up about that too. Something I didn't. Let me see. She said distraction of the child. She talked about yeah, you on the social media is a distraction to the child. You in that room supposed to be instructing that child, even though that child may be independent at that moment. That you may be distracting that child on your social media. Okay, if I'm schooling, say they were schooling behind me, and I'm here having a chat. But some people do that, you know. It's a distraction. She talked to her kids. Somebody said the kids, the siblings are a distraction. When you put me in the room with Sarah, I can't focus. Listen to your kids. Toys. I talk about all the stuff. The visual distraction. Even though there are things in here, and there are, you know, we have an abundance of books and things like that. I'm very careful about how I place things on the walls. I don't like a whole bunch of stuff on the wall. And I took away all the color. That stuff is a distraction to the kids. I'm telling you it is. It might look nice. You run to the Dollar Tree and get this poster and that poster. We have different posters, but I don't want all that stuff displayed around the room. That's a distraction to me. I have to come in here and work because this is my office, and I don't want all that stuff in front of me. The only color is my prayer wall right here. The rest of it is black and white. That's what they look at. And so think about those things. Think about the TV. That gets mom off track, phone calls, mom running to do chores while you're supposed to be homeschooling. Those things all distract the children. You're holding the child back. Okay? Think about that. Why is the school in chaos? Why are the children not focused? What are you doing? Are you on the phone while you helping somebody read? My kids might call and we're in the middle of reading. Now, there's no specific hour that we're doing this. So I have to tell them. The kids will say, we're still doing our schoolwork. It's 8 o'clock at night. Why are you still doing your work? Well, because we just started. That's real life. So call us back or we'll call you back. She talked about the phases of learning. Thomas Jefferson education, core phase. You know, if you guys are familiar with that, you can look up Thomas Jefferson. She talked about putting the time in, you know. And she talked about children, you know, I know there's unschooling and things like that. Different kinds of schooling games, all that kind of stuff. But the focus is the parent has to lead the child. Things cannot be child-led. Now, I say my activities and things like that are child interest. It's based on their child interest. It's not child-led. A child is not even developmentally capable of knowing what they need to learn. But a lot of people will say it's child-led, which is reckless. Because if you give a child, the child is going to choose cookies over a salad. Okay, they don't know the difference. So they cannot cognitively decide what they need, and that's going to just lead them to be, you know, anxious and uptight, and everybody's not going to get anywhere. Let me see. Twins at Heart, we had to work on that as well. I've seen a lot of growth and improvement as a result. I was not Miss Jenny in here homeschooling a doodle.
Why is that a little bit?
Y'all have to check her out. She has something special. But I don't want to say because I'm looking at some stuff, and I can't let y'all take what I'm looking at. But if you check out her channel, subscribe, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'll wrap it up here. We do keep things clean and organized. None of us can think or concentrate with clutter. Yeah, I only have maps on the wall other than that. And that's why I had to get creative with the mobiles and stuff like that, because it works. They learn this is the planets. They learn how to spell them and stuff like that. But I can also change that stuff out. These are actually flashcards. But I don't want the big, this was it. And I did these full size because they actually like that. But I don't need a whole bunch of just stuff. And you guys saw me clean up. I moved the room a few months back. I never finished this area. I'm still working on it. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to, I don't know. I was trying to figure out, because I was supposed to move my desk over and move the bookcase over. I just hadn't got to it. But I need to just downsize some stuff. I don't have anything on our walls. We do hang up. Yeah. And that's just stuff in general. That's why I say a lot of, you don't want to have a lot of stuff in the home, period. It's nice to go out and see knickknacks and things like that. But those little things you have to dust and clean and all that kind of stuff, that can eat up a lot of your time. Right there. That's chaotic to me. I like to see stuff, but I don't need 20 mugs. I don't need 50 collection of, plates. I don't need all that stuff. It's not something I need, because I don't want to have to clean all that stuff. Everybody has a plate. Everybody has a cup. We're good. We got one in case we have company or something, but it's always paper plates. So I make things easy. Okay. Minimize. Put in adequate time. She was saying that, and I have talked about this, people schooling to inadequacy, really. I don't see how to get it done in an hour, and they say they're done unless it's just some fill in the blank. Yeah. Like, for example, a 15-year-old should be, 7 hours. That's adequate schooling for a 15-year-old. So I'm still trying to figure out how people do this, and I know it's because they're not disciplined. I really know that. They'd rather be doing something else, and that's the ones that I really hear the struggles from. So yeah, family is the source. Yeah. So philosophy, that's one of my things, and that's one thing she pointed out. Family is the source. You want the children to know who they are and know where they're going, the purpose of your homeschooling. Yeah, the source, I want them to know God. And all that means. That's my whole source of, my whole point of homeschooling. Excuse me.
Now do a picture of a cake. Yeah. Remember his birthday? Yeah. That I'll be a fly on her birthday. I have to keep her in here? Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Now she's sad because y'all left her. Poor thing.
Yes, because
I know.
We hate her crying. No, I know.
So she's not understanding that. She wants their attention, but she's not understanding that her crying is a distraction to them. So that's usually what happens. So it's not about the money anymore. She's upset because everybody abandoned her. And I don't feel bad for them. You know, because if somebody was screaming like that, I wouldn't want to be around them either. So, but yeah, you want to teach the, accountability to the to yourself and your family. Yeah, you want to be accountable. So that is part of keeping the calm. But what I was saying, the whole point of the homeschooling is to help them to know God and all what that means. And I know sometimes I will ask people, 220, or I will hear people say, I want my child to grow up and go to college and do XYZ and get married and buy a house and all of that. That is very dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't do that. If you hear me anytime, I will say, I want my kids to be happy. I want my kids to know God. That's it. I didn't realize it. Like I said, all these little terms and labels and stuff, I didn't know about this stuff. This is just how we grew up, okay? And all the hands that I was placed in, somehow they did a whole lot. And I'm very grateful for it. And I remember something happening. And all I could, I remember individually, nobody was, together. But everybody had the same question to me. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? And I'm like, and yes, I'm happy. That's it. We have no more to say. As long as you are happy. Okay? And the reason why I say you don't want to put that, oh, I want my kids to go to college. I want my kids to do this. I want my kids to get married. Because what happens is you are going to start to push that child. You're living vicariously through that child. You're going to push that child to those extremes. That child will rebel. Okay? That child will rebel because that will, you may not even speak it out loud, but if you have that mindset, that's how you're going to raise that child. And eventually it's going to come out verbally where they can hear you. Are you really on top of that table? What did I explain to you about the table? That we might not be 100% sure that the table is not unlocked and that is not safe. Thank you. So you will, you speak it and then, the child is, everything that child does, what you need to do this, you need to do this. It's because you want that. That child may not want to get married. That child may not want to do this. That child may not want to own a home. Most kids these days don't because it's debt. And I don't blame them. So happiness, you want them to be happy in whatever they do, whatever path they choose. It's different to have expectation. You have a certain expectation. That's something you should have in general. Okay? I expect you to do this. I expect you to do this. I expect you to know this. If not, there's a consequence. Just like I said, if you tell the child no on something and they go do it anyway, there needs to be an immediate consequence. Okay? Kids understand that. We have consequence. And what happens is, she said be accountable to yourself. You're not accountable to yourself or your family. You just run it. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to go to Instagram. I'm going to go to this group and tell them all about how I'm feeling because they care. You need to be telling that to your family. You sit down and have dinner every night because you cook dinner, I'm assuming. Sit down and put it on the table. Have family meetings. Okay? Those you grew up in the 80s, a family caucus, the Cosby Show, we used to do stuff like that all the time. Okay? If it's just one person, but it's a whole family, sit down and have a family meeting. You sit down at the dinner table, talk about those things. Write those things down. If you think that it's going to cause an argument, which it shouldn't because you're in the company of family, which I never understand. People get on media, microwave society, and tell everything. And they don't realize that people can read through, and I'm not talking about reading with your eyes, but people pick up on a lot of things just on comments. Okay? To seek God and to know Him is all they need. I grew up very high expectations. I rebelled and I felt forced to investments. I had no business making. I'm teaching my kids differently. Yeah. And yeah, you have to, even your expectations, you have to be realistic with those things, because you can't expect the child to do something knowing full well that they're not even capable of doing that. That's just, but if you have trained your child to do certain things and you have seen them progressively grow in these things, and it's not like it's something that when a child is doing their work, I'm saying, okay, let's do this math. Oh, I don't want to do math. This is too hard. No, this is something you just did yesterday and the day before and the day before. You're just adding. It's nothing new. Okay? You're not giving them something new. You're not giving them something they cannot do. That's reasonable. When it becomes unreasonable, that's a problem. So, yeah, just make sure it's reasonable. Yes to family meet. But, yeah, everybody, always you should have a family. You should have family meetings on a regular. That way, I don't, if it's little bitty stuff. Because I had to start paying attention to them seriously about, Mom, she's getting on our nerves, crying like that. And I'm like, it's easy for me to say, go give her what she wants so she'll stop crying. But I can't, because she constantly does this. I know it's we've addressed all the issues in therapy, because I know it's somebody probably, shaking their head, but I guarantee it happens in your house and you probably cave. So, yeah, we eat together every night, whether a restaurant or dinner table. My kids say they're thankful for that time. It makes a big difference. And when it's missing, they're missed by the family. Yeah, you guys. I was just telling somebody this recently, because I talked about my mom and stuff like that. The whole adoption deal. My mom. One thing my mom did. My mom worked 2 jobs and went to school. Every day at high school, I had breakfast. Okay, a hot breakfast on the way out the door. My mom was coming in from one job, getting ready to go to school, and then leaving there and go to work. But she had about maybe an hour. I don't know, something like that. She would come in. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, because I had to take the bus to school around 7:30 something. I don't know, something like that. But every day until the day I graduated, my mom had a hot breakfast on the table for me. She would sit down and talk to me. Y'all, that's something I will never, ever forget. We didn't always have dinner together, because sometimes she would be at work, and one of her jobs, she only literally worked up the street. I mean, we could walk out to the driveway, and it was up there. But she wasn't always there. But breakfast time, every day, every morning, she sat there, made my breakfast. Here you go. You have to eat. And I'm just like, wow. I tell my kids that story, so they can... hopefully, okay, take something away from it. But family meeting, I have to give it to her. She was by herself, and she did what she had to do for my brother and I. And I didn't, feel like I was lacking anything, even if she wasn't there, during those work hours and during those school hours and stuff like that. On her off days, I appreciate it. I would go in the kitchen with her. We would go to the grocery store. And stuff like that, do the grocery shopping. Sometime I will go to work with her. So any little opportunity we could. It wasn't like a traditional let's sit down here, but when we could, we had the family meeting, right at the table. So 2:28. You're on the road tonight. Don't even take business calls until after 1. Yeah. And I need to, that happens to me a lot. I say, don't call me. My kids mind the phone. No, I'm not answering that. Everything else has to wait until we're done with school. That's so special with you and your mom. Which meal doesn't matter. Yeah, it's the one that's on time. Yeah. If it's lunch, a lot of times here, I will flip-flop lunch and dinner. Because it seems like we do things like math early in the morning, because the kids are kind of really focused. I might let them out for a little bit, and then we'll do some math. I find that they're more focus after we eat in the afternoon. For some reason, they will school till 8, 9 o'clock. And I just let them do it. They're night owls. These ones are. The other ones are not. But these are. And so that's why you see in the mornings, I can get up and chat because they're still asleep. And I just let them do it. So, it just works that way. So I will flip. We'll have dinner, the heavy meal in the afternoon, and then something light in the evening. What a blessing. My mom worked, went to school, preached, and everything was on me. Being the oldest of 6, I make it my business to be present. Yeah. It's, you have to do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. She might not have showed up to all of my, school, my band performances and all of that kind of thing. But when it mattered, she was right there. She was right there when it mattered. If she couldn't go, somebody else went. I have to, I talked the other day about the disobedience and, the obedience. I have to finish it. I'm in the shower and I got the little, very good, finish it. So I have to finish it. There's some stuff I did not, even touch on. And I know for some, it probably went over your head. Some you just did not get. Oh, she talking about she need this vehicle. She need that. Some things I didn't touch on. I wanted to come in here about this conference and just recap on what you all, could have taken away. Hopefully next year, or not next year. There's more coming up this year. I'll let you know. But stay on the site. Be involved. So that you can get some, good like this. But, it wasn't even about that. Now the wise person would know, okay, she has a child that has, medical needs and behavior needs. And so having to take public transportation is not a viable option all the time when you have a child that is prone to explode because they are in the presence of other people. Okay, that's not always feasible. So people looking at me and watching the video and probably didn't watch the whole thing, okay, so it went over your head. But again, it was a lesson on being patient, being obedient, and what happens when things go chaos. Where does that really stem from? It comes from somewhere. It's not something that just happens. God loves everybody. He's not here to punish everybody. That's not his MO. He gave everybody a fair chance. It's how you deal with things is what predicts the outcome. So yeah, I'm if I don't get that done this week, it'll be after I come back. I have a whole list of stuff. I've realized that some of you all do homeschool during the summer, so I don't want to stop the chats during the summer. Some of you don't. And, some people just kind of check off YouTube and not looking for homeschool videos. But I'm going to continue to share and, pretty much whatever's on my heart, I'm coming from the heart. It just something is telling me to speak more from the heart. I'm not holding back. So that's where I'm coming from. It's not always something that is, I've taken notes for. It might not even be lined up. It's just kind of random. But some things that I have been thinking about. So I appreciate those of you that stick with me. Those of you that are joining, that are sharing this. And hopefully, it'll be a blessing. You all are a blessing to me. Okay. A big, big encouragement. Oh my goodness. To me. I enjoy your videos. I'll be sticking with you. Well, thank you, ma'am. We will talk about some, I told you guys in the beginning of the year, I'm doing different things. We're venturing out. We did the little controversy on the curriculum deal. You guys know that stuff is a fad. Every year it's a new curriculum. It's a fad. Okay. Now, the one little thing, I'm going to put it up. I'm going to put the little, it's a few minutes of something I talked about. And I said, wait till you know, a good review, not the ones that are sponsored. 6 to 9 months for a you know, a pretty decent review. Right about now, because everybody's seeing that video and that chat and all the comments, people are not going to be so giving anymore to that curriculum. They're not going to put it out there. So they're going to think twice about what they say, because it's controversy and nobody wants to be the one, which is bad, but yeah, nobody's not going to want to share their real opinion about it anymore. They're just going to, you know, unless somebody flat out asks, I thought you were using such and such curriculum, and then they can't avoid it. But I don't think anybody's going to want to say anything much about it. And you know, it's just that I, you know, opened that elephant in the room. That's all I did, you know. And again, I wasn't bad mouthing it. It doesn't line up with our principles. We teach, you know, tolerance, world faith, worldview. But if something doesn't line up that way, I can't bring any component of it in. And that's what Miss Jenny was saying. You know, you'll see that. But that wasn't the issue I even had with that. It was the language arts component. It's not. If you guys are using it, it's the way she's teaching the kids to sound out the words. I couldn't even decipher or decode what that was asking. It didn't even make sense. And I'm like, you don't sound out words like this. Is nobody picking up on this? But I don't know. You know, that's just me. Yeah. So, but to each his own on that, you know, you guys, like I said, you can, things like that. That's where I'm coming from. This convention, good stuff. I'm trying to sow good seeds. Okay. So, you know, above anything else, you know, homeschooling wise, I'll continue to share what we're doing, and so you can see the kids and try to, you know, give you the little helpful, you know, resources and tips and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm more about us, y'all. I'm trying to help us. See you next time. Thank you for joining. I want to encourage us. We need encouragement. So this is my soapbox lately. I'm biting my tongue. No, ma'am, I love it. I mean, I'm watching your videos like 4 or 5 times. You know, it's like the reruns. I'm telling you, because I just love when you say that, because it's like she is really on to something. You guys have to watch her channel. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's something. The spirit, okay? Show her some love, y'all. Yeah, she's talking about the halls and you know, we care about people. We don't want people sinking their money into stuff, this Dollar Tree stuff. Just come on, y'all. We care, okay? Times are hard. Nobody have money to be thrown away. You guys, I put it up. Let me show you something. I'm getting ready to get off of here. I can't even find the thing. Oh, here we go. I had to get another one. Look, let me tell you something. This little thing right here costs about $20-ish or something, plus tax or something, okay? Some of y'all have the fancy, you know, just came from Office Depot, okay? Let me tell you something. You go to the Dollar Tree and put your Dollar Tree pencil in that, you messed up your pencil sharpener. I do not have money to be spending. That's my second one. Something happened to it. It wasn't that caused the damage. But I don't have money to be sinking into no pencil sharpeners, okay? I have to get what I get and make it work, and I buy that because that's a good pencil sharpener. But if I go put a Dollar Tree pencil or color pencil into that mess, that will break my sharpener, okay? It might be cute, it may glitter, sparkly, and all of that, but this is not going in that. These, on the other hand, do, because they sharpen. So, you know, I appreciate it and stuff like that. But, yeah, you know, you spending $1. No, you're not spending $1. You're going to have to replace your stuff. Okay? Go buy the better stuff, man. Just spend a little more on some. You don't have to buy, what's back there? Paint pens, stock mark. You don't have to buy those. These work good. They cost a little more, but you know, they work fine. You don't have to go buy the little cheapo stuff. It just, yeah. And I need some more of these, but yeah, they work okay. Oh, but what happened to my pencil? Yes, that is so true. They end up looking like that as soon as you stick them in there, because all the wood, the cheap wood, and then they still break. So, but I have another one that I use like little random. I have one that's plugged into the USB. Um, and that's why that thing is still in the box, because I only use it. Nobody else can use that sharpener but me. And that you stick the Ticonderoga in it for 1 second and it's sharp. A brand new one, bzz, it's done. Them other ones, bzz, it's about this big by the time you get it sharpened. So yeah. But yeah, the quality of the stuff, you're spending, $1, but the quality is poor, and you end up, and that's what they want you to do. It only costs $1, so you're gonna keep going back. You're gonna keep going back. You're gonna keep going back. I'd rather spend $5 on something and get quality, okay, and it's gonna last. So yeah. But yeah, the point is, I just like her little, deal on the, show me something that is, show me the good stuff, guys. Not to say everybody, I know everybody, I'm serious. I see some of the most ridiculous stuff. People are trying, but it's really ridiculous, and it's really pointless to share that stuff. Help somebody else, but at the same time, you don't want to send nobody bankrupt. And I've said this time and time again, never go buy anything just because I showed you, okay? And know that when I show you something, we've been using whatever I showed you for a long time. I just didn't get the stuff out the box, with the exception of the clothes. I'm showing you the clothing haul, which the box still down there. I recorded the beginning and we never did the haul. Y'all, I'm so behind. I'm going to get that. But, yeah, stuff like that, obviously, it's going to be new clothes, okay? But any other thing, I'm not getting ready to show you something out the box and, hey, look at this, because that's just being ostentatious. So, don't do that. Don't go buy anything. Let me show you what I'm doing with it. And then you make the decision. Because I might tell you, guess what? That didn't work. Yes, by Quality Joy. So let me get in here. This child has calmed down. I'm gonna go pay her some attention. Like I say, she could be 6 years old tomorrow, and got a 16-year-old, and the kids graduating, and I'm grateful right about now. So very, very grateful. I am going to hopefully, pass that on to you all. And you all have a blessed, productive week. Don't stress. Take it easy. Sit down and talk to the kids. Spend your 15 minutes. Grab you a new chapter book. If you have to go to the library or what have you, sit down and read to the kids. It is so important. Audiobooks do it. Somebody pointed that out too. Audiobooks do it, but it is something about your voice reading to those children. Okay? That it helps their concentration. But yeah, sit down and read to the kids. Sit down and read. Read the Bible, of course, but find them some good quality literature. And I will talk to you all in the next chat. And see you all in the next video. What was I going to say? I don't know if I have any more lives. I'm not planning on any more. If I come on, it'll be right before I leave or something. I don't know. But I'm not really planning on anything because I have projects. But I love you all. Peace out.